Think about an accomplishment that you are particularly proud of, one that took grit and perseverance and determination. Think about all the things that you learned on that path to victory. The thrill of victory exists when a long-standing goal is achieved, when we're at the top of that mountain and can look out and enjoy the view and savor what it took to get to the top. Some of you may remember ABC's Wide World of Sports back in the day, long before ESPN and specific channels dedicated to football, soccer, or fly fishing. Each Sunday, the broadcast drew highlights from sports around the world, depicting competition at its finest. Even if you don't know the show, you may know its famous tagline, "The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat." The original images from the 70s were too low resolution to use here, so we grabbed more recent ones. I grew up as an athlete, and as far back as I can remember, I was in competition of some kind. When I was 5, I recall winning the sit-up competition at our gym. And the reward was a day of training with the elite level gymnasts, which is a big deal when you're 5. Through gymnastics and later springboard and platform diving, I learned goal setting, hard work, and resilience. And lessons in sports proved instructive in life. So fast forward several decades, my son Joshua started playing youth soccer when he was 6. Now, I did not anticipate this would be the start of his journey to the World Cup, but I did think he would have fun and begin to get a taste of some of the lessons I found so valuable growing up as an athlete. Instead, he got a participation trophy. You've got to be kidding me. In my time as an athlete and competitor, trophies were reserved for top-level performance, mastering a skill, victory. This new world, where you could show up and get a trophy, was shocking. Even worse, some of the kids failed to make it to half the games, and they still got a trophy. I was outraged. Not only were these participation trophies effectively party favors, disturbing the kids' ability to differentiate between participation and achievement, but once this phenomenon entered my consciousness, I couldn't get it out. I started seeing the dangers of participation trophies everywhere. I was stalked by imaginary people, children and adults, protectively encased against failure by those trying to guard them from the truth. You may be asking, what's the big deal? They're kids. What are the dangers of participation trophies, really? Lessons in sports turn into lessons in life. It is critically important that we pay attention to these dangers and ask what we can do about it. Participation trophies became a thing to give positive reinforcement to children and to reward something other than winning, which are noble goals. However, the unintended outcome of participation trophies, whether they're handed out on the soccer field to 6-year-olds or delivered through indirect feedback in a performance review to 36-year-olds, are long-lasting and far-reaching. You see, for rewards to work, they need to be earned. When rewards are earned, internal motivation is created. Achievement, not empty praise, leads to self-esteem and then further achievement. Participation trophies can stunt competitiveness and lead to entitlement. They thwart entrepreneurial thinking, invention, and innovation by strangling the drive to continuously improve. In an attempt to spare children the hurt that comes with failure, participation trophies rob kids of learning by losing. So let's put aside sports for a moment and take a look at what this is like in education and then in the lives of adults. When Joshua was in elementary school, his school had awards for honor roll, citizenship, and attendance. I thought this was a great blend of rewarding academic accomplishments, good values and behaviors, and stressing the importance of showing up every day. It also began to teach the kids the value of making good decisions and how to spend their time wisely. The kids strived for these awards. Some went after it, they wanted to get all three, have the trifecta. Others were focused on being good members of the community, even if their grades weren't top-notch, or going for perfect attendance. The fifth graders were the big dogs of the school. And as the year end approached, the award ceremony was coming up, and Josh and his friends were talking about finishing strong. And then we received the email. The principal announced that there would no longer be awards for honor roll, citizenship, or attendance. And instead, everyone would receive a certificate of accomplishment. They would be called up on stage one by one, welcomed by their teachers with a hug or a handshake, and be told, "We're proud of you." What? The parents in my community were dumbfounded, and the kids were just as confused. "Mom, what's the point if everybody gets a certificate?" Yeah, exactly. So we're not rewarding good grades, good conduct, or showing up every day. And instead, we're giving a hollow, "We're proud of you," with the misguided belief that somehow saying the same thing to everybody levels the playing field, protecting those who might be hurt by others' achievements, and bringing the achievers down to earth. Wow. There's a lot to be learned from failure and disappointment. Resilience, picking yourself up and coming back after a setback. Think about Edison and Einstein and countless other inventors, founders of companies. A common thread in their personal narrative is relentless problem solving in pursuit of a goal. Edison failed over 10,000 times when he was working to develop the commercially viable light bulb. Did that crush his self-esteem or lead him to give up? No. He actually didn't think he had failed. He believed he found 10,000 ways that did not work. And once he exhausted all the ways that would not work, it would lead him to the way that would work. I'm not minimizing the struggle within each of us when we have failure and disappointment. That's real. I am emphasizing that achievement, not empty praise, leads to self-esteem. Okay. So what can we do about this phenomenon that's wrecking our society? There's three things. First, practice losing and failing gracefully. It takes 6 to 10 years to develop a skill, to master it. Imagine the implications if we started this at age 8 instead of age 18. The impact to our society could be huge. Think about a disappointment or a failure you had. What did you learn from it? Those are the learnings that we're going after. Give yourself and those around you the space to lose and learn from it, starting as soon as possible. Second, practice reflection and build self-awareness. This is a dying art. Ask yourself each day, how did I win today? What could I do better tomorrow? Focus on personal accountability, what you control and influence. Meritocracy is a system that rewards talent, effort, and results. If a meritocracy does not exist in the community you're a part of, you can begin to create it grassroots by practicing this type of reflection. In the wake of the death of achievement awards at our elementary school, something beautiful happened. Myself and the other parents flooded the principal's inbox with a piece of our mind. And then, and only then, did we reflect and ask, okay, what do we want to bring awareness to with our children? And then we created our own. We just did it ourselves. It's too important to leave to somebody else. Third, practice giving and receiving feedback. This one's my favorite. I have spent my career building companies that people want to be a part of, and feedback can be transformational. I commonly spot challenges in giving and receiving feedback during merit review time. Those of you who are in business are likely familiar with this time of year when performance is assessed and salary increases are given. It's a merit increase. So performance drives the size of the salary increase. Say the budget's 3%. Some people will get a 3% salary increase, and some will get more, and some will get less, right? Well, I spot challenges when a manager asks for a 3% salary increase across the board for every single one of his or her employees. The not-so-technical term is peanut buttering. Think about the impact of peanut butter on high performers. What do you think happens? It sucks. The lack of meritocracy is disheartening. What about the impact of peanut butter on those who are struggling? Well, they may not be very motivated to improve their performance because what difference is it going to make? And without that critical feedback, they may not know how. Transparency and telling ourselves the truth yields personal development. Just say no to peanut butter. Invest in feedback. These concepts are applicable in all areas of life. Resist the urge to live a life portraying an image that everything is awesome, when sometimes we learn the most by talking about situations that are not awesome. Have critical conversations early. Don't wait until something blows up. If we did this well, performance in our workforce and our schools would improve, the divorce rate would drop dramatically, and the rate of personal development would skyrocket. But these are topics for another time. These 3 tips are not quick fixes. They are investments in the future of our society. If you think I'm being overly dramatic, rely on the recent history's most prolific innovators and inventors and what their wisdom is. Thank you for listening.